Morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm reading about the Tuohys. I'm reading about the Blind Side.
I see that. You're deep in thought there.
It takes a lot of work to bring this kind of mediocrity to the radio.
That absolutely does every morning.
Well, Sean Tuohy, the patriarch, the dad, Tim McGraw, Timmy, the one sleeping with Sandra Bullock.
People probably couldn't ever. If the Tuohys walk down the street, nobody would know who they are because they think he looks like they think he looks like they think he is Tim McGraw.
That's how much stroke he had. He said, "I want Tim McGraw to play me." He looks more like the guy on Seinfeld. What's his name?
Costanza.
Frasier, or like a he looks like that guy.
He looks more like John Lithgow.
So Michael Oher, the big
welcome
guy,
to the Wade and Carter Show. We're jumping right into things.
South Texas TV studio. Welcome. Thank you, Thrive Fuel. Thank you, the VCS companies, for powering the show. We only have an hour. You have to talk quickly.
We got to go quickly today.
So the Tuohys, according to Michael Oher's petition, were allowed to reap millions of dollars off the 2009 film, he alleged, while he received nothing. Never mind all the meals, clothing, shelter, rides to Ole Miss, hook up for the contract, the whole thing.
Never mind the fact that he probably could have wrote the book or story or whatever and optioned it off himself,
when they found
right?
Him, he couldn't read. Okay, so Tuohy, family patriarch Sean Tuohy.
And then he went to Ole Miss and still couldn't read.
Still couldn't read. Didn't have to. He was a left tackle. He didn't have to read. Said Monday that the Oher's allegations simply aren't true. We didn't make any money off the movie, he told the Daily Memphian. That must be the Memphis newspaper. How gay is that? We're from the Memphian, and we want some butts. Well, Michael Lewis, the author of the book that inspired the movie, gave us half of his share. Everybody in our family got an equal share, including Michael. It was about $14,000 each.
For optioning.
Yeah. So that's
now, where they probably made some money is they probably went on a little bit of a speaking tour after that, got invited to go tell their story, and probably made some money like former presidents tend to do, right?
Yes. Sean Tuohy said that he learned about Oher's allegations when his friend sent him an article about it. The conservatorship in question, he said, had nothing to do with the movie, but was meant to help Oher as he got recruited to play at Ole Miss, where Tuohy had played football as well as was an active booster. They said the only way that Michael Oher was going to Ole Miss was if he was actually part of the family. There you go. Oher was 18 at the time. Didn't need to be adopted. We contacted lawyers who had told us we couldn't adopt anyone over the age of 18. The only thing we could do was have a conservatorship. We were so concerned it was on the up and up. We made sure his biological mother came to court. The Tuohys, I believe, even in the movie, I feel like they might have been like a little bit self-serving, but at the same time, this is not a deal where I'm saying, well, at least the slaves learned how to read. It's not that kind of deal. They really helped this kid. And I think it's unfortunate.
And I think they would have helped any kid, regardless of skin color or anything, who was in a similar situation.
We're devastated, Tuohy said. It's upsetting to think we would make money off any of our children. But we're going to love Michael at 37, just like we loved him at 16. I think the key there is something Ash hit, per usual, hits the nail right on the head. And just said, look, you know what it is? Dude's 37 years old. He's out of the NFL now. He was a very, very good left tackle. He's out of the league.
He's out of money.
Probably broke. There you go. The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Feed. For everything you need, there's Deerland Feed. It's 77 degrees in Victoria. Heading to a high today of only 103. Put your popcorn on the front porch, come back later and eat you some.
Exactly.
It's going to be great.
Crack some eggs on the pavement. See who's all checking in this morning.
Yeah. TB
Judge Posey, good morning. Linda Crystal, get down to that one in a second. Will Vincent, Greg Garcia, good morning. There's Torrin Bales, Steve Kidder, Kendra Douglas, Rena Scherer, good morning. Roy Gutierrez, good morning to you, Roy. Bobby Leister, Good morning to you, Bobby, on this Caldo Wednesday. Jordan Glass. The Iceman is in we're huge in Geronimo, Texas. I think the fact that we're on in Geronimo just doubled the population.
Yeah, no doubt. Half the city's listening.
At least half the city hasn't quit their police force.
Wow.
Lisa Poole, Marvin Micker, Scott Tomko, David Glass, Patricia Nagel. Good morning, Ricky King. Iceman says, but they did get him to the NFL. Steve Kidder says, no money off the movie. Horrible agent.
Yeah, I agree. If I'm the Tuohys...
No kidding. You're in the NFL. A movie's being made about you. Your agent had to know your backstory somewhat.
Sure.
And you didn't see a dime. $14,000.
Swiatowski says that guy needs a lawyer.
Linda
that guy
Chris
could put Steve Kidder in his lapel pocket.
Justin Glass, Katina Arterberry. Kidder says he's promoting his book. I wonder if he has a book.
Right.
Torrin Bale says we need to open the show with the song Richmond, North of Richmond.
Have you heard it?
I have heard it.
It's pretty intense.
It's pretty...
But you know what it is?
But we don't have the permission to play that song, and we'd be muted in every country, including the U.S.
But do you know what the song really is? It's no different. Hang on, I'm going to find it.
I listened to the guys. I listened to some of his other stuff on Apple Music. It's not bad. Oliver Anthony Music.
You keep going. I'm with you.
You want me to find the song? I got it.
No. I'm going to tell you what song it is.
Oh, you're trying to compare it to a song.
Absolutely.
Okay, I got you now. This is the one TB wants us to play.
Working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
Oops.
They won't listen. Oh, you can do that. Yeah, we listen to rap.
Drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could
push my phone up.
There, that's
same thing.
A little bit of that.
Same song, different era. Hang on. Look.
Around, I hear the sound of money.
Little Travis Tritt, isn't it?
Yeah, but when you get to the chorus, you'll say, same song.
And everywhere I look, I see temptation.
Gotta get up in your nose to sing like that.
On every corner and calls my name. Now won't you tell me if you can? 'Cause life's so hard to understand.
Same song.
It's taking me back to my country music radio days. Pretty close.
I think it's the same
That's,
song.
lamenting about life. That's what it is. But no, I like that song. That Oliver.
Yeah, that kid's just standing. Now I don't know if that's a music video that I've seen.
Yeah, I think it is. Oliver Anthony Music is
he's
well.
He's standing out there, big old burly Nordic redhead looking kid.
Plays a pretty darn good dobro though, doesn't he? I like the sound of
a
the
nearly
dobro.
lost art.
It kind of is. You don't see too many dobros. Mandolin's kind of made a comeback. Maybe the dobro now. Maybe. Iceman says just story of life. That's all it is.
Right. John White brought back the mandolin.
Greg Garcia says a little Travis Tritt in the morning is good for the soul. Who else is checking in? Cody Bauman, good morning. Carrie Bump, Amanda Smith King. Kelly Frommy says, who else wants a two-step in the living room in the jammies?
Right.
I was almost ready to do it, except I didn't have a partner. Junior Samples, good morning. He was hanging with Bill Posey this morning. There's Christina Wise, Andy Rokovich, Diane Tippett.
Your cousin.
Cousin Jarrett, good morning to you, sir. Good morning, everybody. Glad you're joining us this morning. Speaking of the BS that Oliver Anthony sings about.
A boot?
A boot.
Hey.
Scott Tomko, good morning. I'm Scott Snow's in. Man, the more I read about this 100-page indictment or read against Donald Trump in Georgia and read and listen to different lawyers opine, you and I were right on the money. They threw spaghetti on the wall to see what will stick, And most agree maybe the only thing that has a chance of sticking are some of the RICO charges. Everything else.
Such a broad.
And I heard a guy this morning saying, some of the charges, trying to access a public computer, they could have charged him with that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
A lot of this is about timing, and it goes back to what you and I talked about yesterday. The Democrat Party hates America. They are the brown shirts of this country, and they will do anything and everything in their power, including collude. I mean, you talk RICO. You can't tell me the federal government hasn't colluded with the DA of Fulton County.
No doubt.
They get Trump off the ballot.
The DA of Fulton County didn't develop that indictment. They were handed that indictment, and they decided to pursue it.
And then you're going to tell me that he got a fair trial, and then there isn't some chicanery? When hours... I listened to questions and a statement because the DA thought, well, this thing sort of leaked, so we got to try to figure out a way to explain that.
The newspaper had it a day before it was even unsealed.
Yeah, Reuters.
Scary.
Reuters had it and put it out there. So the DA says, well, the grand jury met till 8 o'clock at night. Well, okay, but this thing was out there in the afternoon the day before, or that day, whatever, right? And tried to explain it away that the county clerk was testing the system for such a large... Come on, really? You're in Fulton frickin' County, Georgia. There's no way in hell this is the first 100-page indictment ever to have to be uploaded to the interwebs in Fulton frickin' County, Georgia.
True story. You're talking about Atlanta.
Well, and then the charges were the exact same, and they tried to explain it. Well, it was a test run. There was nothing in there. It wasn't the actual indictment. No, the exact charges. Like 13 of them were the exact same charges that the grand jury then found reasonable evidence to go forward and charge Donald Trump with. And then, so don't give me this crap. This was planned. It was all premeditated. They had everything ready to go on a silver platter. They found I wouldn't be surprised if they handpicked a grand jury to come down and here's what you're going to do, grand jury.
True story.
These are the indictments and the counts against Donald Trump and 18 other folks and 30 unindicted co-conspirators. So we can smear their names through this whole process as well and eliminate them from running for office if they so choose. See how widespread this gets? It's not just Donald Trump. It's now 18 other people who were involved in the last election. Maybe could have been involved in the next election, but nobody's going to want to have those 18 people involved in their election campaigns because of the bad press. And then you've got 30 others, unindicted co-conspirators, as I believe is the term they used on these folks.
That's a common phrase.
So they can smear them and keep them out of it. So now you've got 50 people who won't have anything to do with the 2024 election. See how this works, folks? The Democrat Party hates America and is doing everything they can to eliminate their competition. They are the freaking Nazis they accuse the right of being.
And the only difference is in the 1930s, they showed up at your door with guns and clubs, and now they show up because the left is so politically correct and weak. They show up with paperwork and lawsuits. Yep. They've weaponized the court system. It's pretty simple. It's not even that hard to see.
No.
And it ought to scare the heck out of anybody that's an American because...
But it doesn't because
if they can do it to Donald Trump, what can they do to you?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
What's going to happen? It's human nature. If the IRS shows up at my house and literally hauls me off for tax evasion, 90% of you are going to say,
should have paid your taxes.
Should have paid his taxes. I don't know what Carter was thinking. You can't avoid that. Only 10% of you would go, for 7 years now, him and his partner have been pretty vocal against the government on the radio. I wonder if they came and got him, thinking, nobody will notice.
Yeah.
And that you find yourself, you hear about it all the time in other countries. He's a political prisoner. Who are you going to appeal to? When the government puts you in jail, you going to call your priest? Good luck. Interesting.
No, it is. It's exactly what they're doing. They're coming after their political opponents.
Yeah. But they call it a mass trial of political opposition. So you basically have a trial against an ideology. And then you can say, well, I can link him to that, and I can link him to that. Let's round them all up. Put anybody of Japanese descent
In an
into an internment camp till we'll sort them out later. Okay. We think we've learned from the past, but we have not.
Junior says he would just think Don dropped a dime on you.
Don could do it. I have a father-in-law.
No, they've learned from the past. Seriously, the Democrat Party has learned from the past. They've learned how to do this in such a way that 50% of the country that vote Democrat support it without a question. And another 30 to 40% of this country don't even bat an eyelash at it and question it.
Bill Posey says that you and I are going to a FEMA camp. Can you see me and Ash just
living in those white trailers?
We're in cages, I tell you. They've got us in cages.
Singing songs, living on sponge cake.
I'll show you the song we would sing.
But that's how they've learned from the past. And they're repeating it in such a way that most of this country doesn't even know it's happening. You got it? You ready?
Oh, you're going to hate it.
I mean,
let it play a minute, then you can get the chorus.
But he's shielding his phone, so I can't see what song it is either. So
I've got a
father-in-law. This will be a complete surprise to me.
A father-in-law with land, a front-end loader, and a skid steer. I mean, you don't...
And wild hogs.
Yeah. I mean, they'd shoot me, leave me in the field for 3 days, and then just dig a shallow grave. It's always a shallow grave. The murderer is always really lazy.
Yeah.
He was buried in a shallow grave.
Point. Would have got away with it if it wasn't such a shallow grave.
And those darn kids. Go ahead.
Ready?
For only pennies a day, you can help Ash and Brent get through the FEMA camp. Won't you contribute today? Do you think it's fair they're there for political reasons?
She's got such a beautiful voice, though.
She does. It's a shame her career song is associated with weeping puppies.
Yeah, how much money do you think she makes every time that ad plays?
Nothing. She donated it all to the dogs.
Bull crap.
She made, later on the royalties, she made $9 million off the dying puppies.
SPCA. Steve Kidder says they'd give you a big screen TV locked on MSNBC for re-education.
Right? You laugh. You laugh. They might put you there with Wolf Blitzer.
Cody Bauman says, I've got some PTSD from this song.
Right?
Greg Garcia says the party that put forth Executive Order 9066 is now doing the same to its political opponents. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They are trying to silence folks.
We need to do that. Here at Wade and Carter, adopt a liberal. For only pennies a day, you'll receive a card with a picture of a liberal.
With a picture of Rush Limbaugh.
Right. and
on one side and on the other side of Ronald Reagan.
A hologram of Ronald Reagan. You can move it and he goes, well.
What are the 9 scariest words to hear or whatever that was, right? I'm from the government. I'm here to help.
Yeah.
It plays that when you flip it over to...
That would be really cool. Adopt a liberal.
Coffee just
went
everywhere.
You know how we get busted?
That was close.
Here's how we get busted. instead of having we get like $9 million because we get $1 from 9 million people, but they all got a card with Pete McNally on it. They're like, no, Pete's mine. I adopted Pete. And Peter, being the good capitalist that he is, he would call and go, "Can I have a third? Give me a third, and I'll keep quiet."
Here, I need you to sign this. It's just a conservatorship so that when I option the movie rights, you get nothing.
Hey, Peter's old enough. We could have a conservatorship for him. Pete, we'll cut you in. I got 3 cans of Vienna sausages and some Prim. Brent bought me a flat griddle.
At least Ashley got me a can of fruit salad with the cherry in it. Brent never brings me the one with the cherry.
All right, help me out. Help me out. The fruit salad with the cherry in it is absolutely nothing like any of the fruits actually taste. Much like the other day, Ryland told me, we went to Sam's, and they've got peaches in there that look like softballs. And you're thinking to yourself, this is not my beautiful wife. No, you're thinking to yourself, hey, there's no way that peach is any good because it's just huge. Took it home, cut pretty good.
Yep.
Tasted like velvet. It was amazing.
Okay.
Riley goes, I don't like those. I like the ones in the can with the juice. I'm like, are you kidding me?
He just likes the juice.
That's not a peach.
I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches. I'm moving to the country. I'm gonna eat me a lot of peaches.
It's a low content Wednesday.
Moving to the country. I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches.
This is the Ryland line coming up.
To the country. I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches. Peaches come from a can. They were put there by a man.
You remember in Hogan's Heroes, they were always eating canned peaches. Junior says Brent goes to a FEMA camp. Dawn's
House cleaning gets cut in half. Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought he was going to say Dawn was like cleaning houses in a little French maid outfit. They've got one of those here in town now.
Do they really?
Yeah. I think it's scantily clad type thing where they'll come and clean your house.
Really? And you get to stare at them and
Yeah. Could you bend over again and get that remote from you? Like hide remotes under the sofa. Some people have to-
dropping pretzels on the floor.
Yeah. Could you pick that up? Slower.
Oops, I dropped my wallet.
Torn Bells completely changes the subject. Democrats accuse Republicans of what they are doing themselves or have already done. No doubt about
No
it.
doubt about it. None at all.
I like to think that if we got put in FEMA camp, this crowd would come get us.
I think they'd stand there and laugh at us.
Oh, goodness. You know what's funny is
You know
like
who would come get us?
later on, Ash will say to me, don't ever say on the air that it's a low-content Wednesday. I'm like, these people aren't stupid. They done figured this one out. Folks, Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen is your go-to tow-to. We give you that number. Most of you remember it. I honestly, at least once a week, I get a call from somebody. Hey, who's that wrecker service y'all promote? My wife had a fender bender in Gonzales.
Allens would come get us if we were in that FEMA camp.
Absolutely. With a 75-ton crane, they
Tow
just
that
pick up
trailer.
the whole camp.
They
No
could do
doubt
too.
about it. The VCS companies, we mentioned them earlier, they power the Wade and Carter program. The only locally owned and auzed AT&T
Retailer.
that place is just inside the loop off of Kerr Boulevard. It's vodka.
Yeah,
It has no effect on me. Has no effect on
it's
us.
good stuff. Barely smells.
Yeah, I just used a little to wash down the 3 gummies. Chestnut Furniture for 116 years. No, for 105 years at 116 West Juan Lynn. Go by and see Bobby Leon and his family. Let them help you in yours. You'll see why you just always do better at Chestnut.
Always do better at Chestnut.
Today is Caldo Wednesday.
It is Caldo Wednesday.
Lee and Ida are back, and they are in rare form. We had baseball practice for Ryland last night. I wanted to make a quick flyby. Sent Lee a note at 5 till 8. He goes, just lock the door. Close at 8 on Tuesdays, but there were like 9 or 10 on
Yeah.
the rest,
The rest
of
of
the
the
week.
week, well, they won't be called after 12:30 today. I
No,
think.
get by there. And then Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Ash is in the process of rescheduling that event. We haven't figured it out yet, but we will.
We will next week.
And you're
I think
gonna
next
like
week.
it.
We're running out of weeks this month. We got to get it done.
And Armor Air, 579-0966. Let the great folks, friendly folks, Ryan and his family, will come out and help you Make sure your AC is working in top order. Clean the coil. Make sure, I tell you where people get in trouble too. When your AC runs for hours and hours at a time, you get that condensation, that drip pan in the attic. Over time, it gets a little slime in it because there's water in it for so long. It'll plug that little hole. If you look out your kitchen window, usually somewhere,
Yep.
there's a little drip on the side of your house. If you see water dripping, that's letting you know that water is no longer going down the drain. It's going into the auxiliary pan. You need to go upstairs and make sure that is all clear. Armor Air can do that for you. You can't get in that attic. It's 150 degrees up there.
Let somebody else.
They show up in a spacesuit with an air conditioner. But if you don't go up there, the next thing you know, you'll look up and go, Ethel, there's yellow stains on the ceiling.
There's a bubble.
No kidding. It'll come in. And I've seen it happen. It's not good.
No, me too.
Good morning, Sheriff Louderback. Sheriff Louderback, we had a very two ships passing in the night moment yesterday. He told me, folks, this is a seasoned, long-term law enforcement officer, and he just said, Brent, the next time I come in, he goes, it's just unbelievable what's going on. How that the courts and the left and Mayorkas and they're just stacking the deck against the state of Texas. But I feel confident with Sheriff Louderback on the job. He's now working through the GLO for Don Buckingham, and the things they're going to implement are going to help. But he said, it is a mess of unbelievably epic proportions. So we'll want to get him on here pretty quick to give us an update. Now, you're gone tomorrow and Friday.
I am. Be back Monday. You're here.
Junior,
You'll
I
keep
will
on
be
the
here.
show.
I will press on. Like Alexander Haig. Nobody remembers that. I am here. Everything is fine. I have the nuclear code. Super Al.
Swamp.
Then immediately they're like, actually, you're not in charge. The Speaker of the House is.
Yeah, it's not you, sir.
Could you please move away from the mic? You power-hungry military general.
Remember Henry Kissinger? Remember him? Recently,
He's like in his 90s.
no, older than that. He's 100.
Still negotiating.
And apparently was over in Russia or China not too long ago.
What is that guy doing in China? There's our Sheriff Justin Marr checking in. He says, good morning, Victoria County. Good morning to you, sir.
I want to give you guys an opportunity to take part in the Cameron Strong Foundation Benefit Golf Tournament coming up September 30th. Riverside Golf Course is all to raise money to keep Cameron's legacy living through the foundation, which helps provide support, encouragement, and guidance through all phases of the unknown journey of pediatric cancers. $400 a team includes your green fee and a cart, and $10 for 2 mulligans is optional. So you've got that buy-in while you're there, and they've got whole sponsorships available as well. You can contact Richard Vasquez at 361-218-3080 for more information. If you'd like to be part of that, you don't need an A, B, C, or D player. The 4-member teams will be listed from best to worst handicap, sum, and percentages applied in that order. So they'll make it fair because you know how these things go.
Oh, yeah.
But, we want to help them raise money and keep on Cameron's memory living on strong. Young girl that was really taken to heart by our local law enforcement. I saw Justin Marsh check in, and I know she was deputized.
We were there.
And she was also sworn in as a member of the VPD, and they were very big in helping support her. And then she lost her battle with cancer at a young age, and it's so sad.
It's
But
very,
still
very
the
sad.
family's
It's-
helping her live on, which is great.
When things happen outside of the natural cycle of life, when parents shouldn't bury their kids. It's just really, really sad. She was a delightful little girl.
She was.
Very, very tough.
Metastatic osteosarcoma is what she had. So, always had a smile on her face. I don't think I ever saw her not smiling.
No,
was
and I
awesome.
saw her quite sick.
Yeah.
So Reverend Fred Hobbs, granddaughter, she came from good stock. Great though. It's nice. It is nice going forward that a fun event can be associated with her. That's really nice.
There's Brent Anderson checking in. Good to see you, B8.
Something happens to you, I'm going to have a curling tournament.
Please do.
Yeah.
Oh man! Speaking of Victoria, do we want to? Should we? Let's go. Let's do this morning.
Let's talk about Victoria.
Yeah. I gotta find my.
Victoria Moment brought to you by Senior Living and Dollar General. Various mattress stores
Check cashing places.
and a pawn shop.
Yeah. Because yesterday, the city of Victoria posted on, one of the popular social media sites that Real Text Development Corp is planning to build a 68-unit apartment complex for seniors on John Stockbauer. Private development funded by private investors, both directly and through the sale of TDHCA tax credits. I don't know exactly how that is, but I guess that separates it enough that it's not government housing, right?
Right, but it's got to have. It probably has requirements that, if as long as a certain percentage or are for lower income folks, what we used to call Section 8.
60 of the 68 units will be set aside for folks that meet 50% of the median income or
There
or,
you go.
or
So in
or
return
worse.
for
So,
that, you get
Yeah.
tax abatements, which in theory allows the thing to cash flow.
yeah. So 60 of the units set aside for residents who make 30%, 50%, and 60% of Victoria's area median income. And
So
it's
far,
55 and plus, although
I'm
they will allow
I'm in too.
younger folks to live there if they can't rent
Disabled
it, but if they're living with a grandparent or an older parent, whatever, then they can live there as
So
well.
I could move in because I'm qualified. I make no money and I'm over 55, and you could live with me.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, but the comments were
so-
priceless.
So they're 3-story buildings, and you had people wondering how a 3-story complex makes sense for seniors. I know lots of 55-year-olds. I stand next to one every morning.
Hey,
I'm almost there myself.
my
I have no problem walking upstairs.
well, and my doctor's on the 4th floor over there at Citizens, and there's this thing called an elevator. It's French.
Is it French?
And I ride with old people all the time on that elevator. People started asking questions like, well, do you think it's going to be ADA compliant? Can you imagine the code here is ADA compliant? Nobody's going to build a 68 unit complex that's not ADA compliant.
This isn't Puerto Vallarta.
No. But isn't it interesting when I read it, and I only made 2 comments on there. They were all polite. I liked everybody's comments. Our own Roy Gutierrez made a comment on there that, Roy. But anyway, I was just like, can we just focus on the positive? This is nice. We're always talking about how Victoria doesn't have any low-income housing or entry-level homes or places for people to live that don't make a bunch of money. And here somebody comes in and they think they found a way to build a really nice complex. And we're worried about what if the power goes out? Man, let's go.
Somebody
with it.
commented and said that we need that the city needs to stop building Dollar Generals.
These
City-
people are lost.
City doesn't build Dollar Generals.
City doesn't build these apartment complexes either.
City just promotes the fact that it's coming. It's not even city land, I don't believe.
It was very funny.
Somebody else commented that the county should build an outlet mall.
It's the last thing we need.
Drive up 35 to Dallas, and when you get to
Hillsborough.
and see the one that used to be there. See what happens when outlet malls are no longer
Go bad.
when outlet malls go bad, and the blight on your landscape when you've got 50 acres
Ooh.
sitting there
Or
turned into
more.
homeless camps.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
There's also one that failed outside of Corpus,
Yeah.
over near Robstown. And if they're not working right outside of Dallas and right outside of Robstown, outside of Corpus, they ain't going to work.
Oh man. It's just
I like the city, whoever answers for the city is just very cut and dried. That would be a VISD decision. We don't do that.
Somebody said, "What are we going to do about schools?" Well, nobody's flocking here. If you're a low-income senior, you probably don't have the means to move to Victoria just because they're building a brand new apartment. Somebody's building a brand new apartment complex.
There's folks here
Yes.
who their home has fallen into bad repair. They don't have the means to repair it themselves. It's almost becoming uninhabitable. But there's somebody willing to buy it and refurb it. Well, what good does that do for me? I can't afford to live here then. No, but I'll buy your home and you can go live in this apartment complex. And by the way, the developer's making that possible. I think it's a great thing.
My concern
where
is
is
though
it on Stockbird? You know?
901. I guess that's towards the south,
Yeah.
more towards Houston Highway.
It's
there.
between Business 59 and it's down there
Airline,
south.
yeah.
No, I think
Somewhere
it's
or
probably
Mockingbird?
south of, might be south of Speedy Stop.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, you think?
If not, it's right there by the
Right
corner
there,
somewhere.
yeah, somewhere there. Here's my concern, though.
Torn Bales would know. He
This
knows the
is
numbers.
the third apartment complex being built for low-income seniors, and we've got Dollar Generals popping up on almost every street corner. It's like 7-Elevens of the 70s, without Slurpees.
Do we have a problem with Dollar General though?
No, I don't have a problem with Dollar General.
I think HEB may come in one day and wipe them all out.
But when your community is when the investment in your community is dollar stores,
Mattress stores,
low income housing,
you ain't booming.
not a good sign for the city as a whole,
No.
economically. So
It falls under
Dollar-
the idea of 14 million new jobs created.
Jonathan Williams says it's across from Colony Creek. Okay, yeah, I know the land.
Oh, okay.
Well, there goes the neighborhood. Kidding, a kid. Seniors are not going to be crazy. They're
In
gonna
other
be
news, a golf cart hit a wheelchair today. Authorities couldn't figure out who was the golfer and who was the geriatric. Bunch of old people going around Colony, bunch of old people going around the neighborhood. The two men were slapping each other. One had a 5-iron, one had a cane.
couldn't tell which was which. You had what they used to call that one? The spooner, something like that. Right. What was that? Yeah, that was the first like sand wedge, wasn't it? Something like that. I don't know.
Goodness.
But yeah, I mean, just go read the comments on these things. If you grab a bucket of popcorn,
Pretty funny.
you can entertain yourself. It's
You'll
pretty
chime
good.
in. You'll put something on there. Politely. You'll
Yeah.
put something on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, what did I sarcastically yesterday? Somebody commented about how we were going to need to build more schools, and I commented, yeah, because the seniors are popping out kids left and right.
Right. Linda Chris says the Dollar General between Nursery and Victoria is a lifesaver.
Absolutely, that one's on Upper Mission Valley Road. That one I know is busy.
Well, there's also one as you're coming into town if you're leaving Cimarron at Nursery and you're coming into town, there's one on the right before you get to Sun Valley.
That's right. Yep.
Other than that, you've got to go all the way to HEB.
Yeah, you got to go into town or Walmart or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not no more. Not no more.
We're just that's incidental contact. You know, if AJ was here, no, that's good. That's just
we'll pick up
incidental
the flag.
contact. Yeah.
What is it?
Craziness.
Flag being waved off.
Gray Barn Mercantile, get by today. Go by and see Cheryl. You can call her.
She just put out in the store yesterday. If you think her soaps smell fantastic,
They do.
check out the new assortment of candles that she now has.
Do they lather up?
They don't lather up, but they make your whole house smell either like sweet tea or like a rose garden.
Nice.
She spent all day Sunday perfecting these candles.
There you
She
go.
made them too. They're her
Did she
own
really?
creations. Yeah, so they smell awesome.
Right there on Airline. Just Airline.
Airline Laurent, Town and Country Shopping Center.
Ads and offers since 1926. Victoria's dealership. Get by Paint and Body Shop. They service all makes and models. They'll inspect your vehicle for $7.
They'll sell you a Chevy. They'll sell you a Mazda. They'll sell you a Mitsubishi.
Tires, windshields, wiper blades.
Oil changes, you name it. Body work, paint work. They'll do it all for you right there on Navarro, just down the road from Higher Prices on the Navarro Motor Mile. Law Office of Stephen Kidder, if you've got legal questions.
That's your man, Roy, coming in. We have to get Roy to give us a call.
Yeah.
Roy, you know you're welcome to call anytime.
361-894-4020 is the number to call.
Feel free.
Anybody wants to chime in on something we've talked about or something we haven't talked about, you want to bring up a new topic. We're only 76 days to Halloween. So
AJ's detail, that's what we've got. We know exactly. College football right around the corner.
Well, I only bring that up because the Halloween displays are starting to be set up. Which means Christmas will be set up by Labor Day. You watch.
I think I walked into Hobby Lobby the other day and the Easter stuff was out. I mean,
that was leftover.
Yeah. So what happens? Whatever season it is, and then the day it's over, they put it on clearance for a week, and then a week later they just take it down and it's ready for next year. AJ's detailing. Let AJ Villanueva. Check him out on Facebook. AJ's detailing page. The before and after pictures,
Yeah,
I'm telling you, don't do it justice. It's unbelievable. The attention or the details are what he does. It's just amazing. I think I just saw Jim Simpson checked in. That's
Did you see
nice.
Jim Simpson check in? Good for him.
No, Junior Samples. Same thing.
Close. I'm sure Jimmy's in.
Jimmy's in somewhere.
I'm sure he's in. Oh, man.
Astros update. Astros played last night. Astros played good last night.
At times, they had a pretty interesting, I think, was it the fifth inning when they decided to throw the ball around like the Bad News Bears and cost them the run?
You were yelling. I watched that replay.
But then Chaz McCormick came back and hit a home run to tie it. Yeah.
Chaz Michael. He did a really fine job, hit a home run.
You think Yuli Gurriel standing over there at first base for the
crying.
Marlins laughing?
Well,
Because, I mean, let's be honest. John Singleton is not Yuli Gurriel at first base.
no, but Abreu's pretty good there. Nobody's as good as Yuli at first. In fact, the numbers bear that out. He had more scoop outs than anybody in baseball for like 3 years in a row. But I don't have a problem at all with Singleton. The play that led to the deal, Singleton was in the stretch for a long time. He missed a ball, and
Just not used to playing first
Yeah.
base. Should have had it.
he should
my
have.
opinion.
Should have had it.
So I think Dubon got charged with a throwing error that allowed the runner to get to third. The big mistake, and he never got to pitch again after this, was Christian Javier was over covering the play and just airmailed it into left field.
Threw the ball into left field, let the runner score. What's interesting about that is Dubon was only in because Jose Altuve hit a ball that, and you see this more and more. I guess the guys are letting the ball travel, but he hit the ball hit his knee. And later on,
Fouled it off him,
he
yeah.
got another hit, and then he said, I can't run. I got to take myself out.
Contusion. That
Well,
bruise.
he had a really nice dinner date in Miami and decided to get an early shower. But Astros win, what was it, 6-5?
6-5, I think, was the final score. Yep. Yep.
So McCormick had a home run.
Tucker.
Tucker had a home run. Bregman. Somebody else had a home run.
It wasn't Bregman. I think he had a sac fly.
Who was it?
Diaz.
Oh, Yiner.
Yeah. Tucker with RBI number 89.
Yiner can bring
Solo
it.
home run. Astros win. I think the Rangers won as well. So there we go. 3.5 back, I believe. We're still 3.5 back of the Rangers in the AL West. Still got 4 games up on Seattle, so that's good. But yeah, it's going to be a dogfight. What do we got today? I think we finish off with the Marlins tonight.
Yes.
And the Rangers still host the Angels. They're going to sweep that series, I think.
Trying to see
Both
what
teams have the day off tomorrow, so there you go. So chance to make up some ground maybe today. Hopefully the Astros can win and the Rangers will lose.
So here's the story, just an update, because this is incredibly exciting stuff. The Michael Orr deal.
What are you finding out now?
Well, Mike Golick's wife put on Twitter, man, this story. Turns out that Michael Orr, according to the Tuohys, has tried to shake them down for $15 million in the past and been kind of cut loose by several attorneys in the past.
Or?
Yeah.
He's
I feel bad for Michael. Michael's trying to make some money.
Michael probably blew all his money.
But this is like the prodigal son, right? I mean, they've done everything they could for the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't either.
He ain't no Britney Spears. Everybody feels sorry for her.
Well, her dad was conservator and robbing her blind. I don't think that's the
Yes.
case with the Tuohys.
It's one thing if your dad says, you're 14 years old, you're Leanne Rimes, and I'm going to take all the money and invest it for you. It's another thing if you're 14 years old and your dad takes all the money and drinks it.
Yeah.
Yeah, your dad's partying.
And is
with
still
the
doing that when you're
Stones.
40 years old. And
Right.
but it's a completely other thing when you're 40 years old and you have the mental capacity of a 14-year-old still. Because
Yeah.
your dad wasn't your dad and your mom wasn't your mom.
But
And they
at
let
some
you do
point,
whatever
it's her
they
money. You got to
Well,
say,
No, I know that, but they let Britney Spears do whatever she wanted to do without any guardrails.
she definitely
and now
has some mental health
Oh,
issues.
and she's 40 years old with about the self-control of a 16-year-old when she just cuts her hair off because, right?
Right. Anything for publicity.
Yeah, because nobody's ever told her no, and it's all about attention. So,
Boy, she had the world for a while, didn't she?
yeah, she did.
She ain't no Wade Carter.
Nope.
Long and slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. We are the tortoise.
If it gets any slower, we're the only ones in the race. That's the two things going against us.
Where are my crickets? No.
There they are.
Aunt Betty? Aunt Betty, can you call?
I should probably label those at some point, but
No, because,
it's
see,
more fun trying to find them.
we've got 8 buttons over here, and we can put anything we want in there.
And I think they can actually become more than 8, but I don't know how to do that yet.
I'm very nervous.
Something else, but
Some really high-tech stuff. We need like 2 knobs. There's 37 knobs.
I know.
over
I don't
there.
know.
We need
Yeah,
2.
the only 2 knobs in this studio are standing right here on the camera every morning.
Knob A, knob B.
Or knob W and knob C, whichever. Oh man, how about? I mean, just
I can change the view.
Yeah, please do. you got somebody more attractive
It's
over there?
like the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch.
How about the
Crazy
news
too.
out of Maui, man? It just gets more and more tragic every time you
$7
turn
billion in expected losses. Over 101 now. Not over 100, but at least 101 now determined to be dead. Almost a perfect storm. Lack of water. The wind was just right.
on.
Things
Well,
happen.
and apparently now people are saying that they didn't even know the fire was a threat to them because, and this is where I credit our folks here, and maybe, and you would think a place like Lahaina with the hurricanes that they have going close and through Hawaii would be prepared, would have backup systems in place.
What if
they
they
didn't
were
have the
there
wa-
on vacation?
They didn't have
Nobody's-
the water pressure. They lost power at some of their power lifting stations, so the water couldn't get pumped. But now residents are saying, we never even got warned that this fire was a danger. We had no clue that we were in trouble.
You got to figure there were a lot of tourists there. It's Maui, the end of summer. Very, very sad.
No, it really is.
Over 100 people. Now, apparently, developers think, Marriott. Think people that would covet to have a huge resort right on Front Street.
Timeshare is the only thing you can buy that you never know how much it's going to
That's right.
cost and when the cost is going to end.
They come in and they want to buy your land, and like Ash said, you're traumatized. Everybody over there that is around needs to just take a deep breath and sit tight.
You're hurting for money.
You're homeless.
You've probably lost your business if you're living in Lahaina because it was gift shops and restaurants.
Art, everything. Now,
Oh man, those art! Think of the art that was lost.
no, and there were museums that were lost. Callie Fromme shares that Keith Williams has organized a noontime Praying for Our Country session. It's called The Call. It'll be at the American Legion today, 12 to 1.
Stay as long as
Stay
you
as
can.
long
Kind
as
of a
you
drop-in
can.
deal.
Let it fit into your lunch schedule if you want to go by. And
Keith and I have
Have
had a
some prayer
chance to
time.
golf together a couple of times. We've had some fun. Good opportunity. Steve Kidder says Texans in Miami on Sunday. Who cares?
yeah, it's Texans and
Preseason
Miami.
football.
3 o'clock.
Cowboys, Mike McCarthy has said he's not playing any of his starters in the preseason.
And the move has been lauded by pundits as being genius. They're saying, hey, smartest thing ever. Why do you want to take a chance? Now,
Well,
I've got something for you here.
Okay.
Bear with me. Why do you want to take a chance on Dak Prescott, C.D. Lamb, Micah Parsons
Who apparently left practice yesterday.
getting dinged up in a meaningless game when we all know who the starter is by some guy who's trying to make the other team? In other news, Donald Trump, not intending to be at debates on unfavorable networks against folks with 2%, against all the Kamala Harrises of the Republican Party. He says, why do I want to go to an unfriendly network with negatively structured questions to beat down a bunch of people that don't have a chance to win the nomination? When you look at it in light of McCarthy's move with the Cowboys, it kind of makes sense.
Kind of does.
People are like, well, you look like a chicken. You look like you're afraid of them. Donald Trump's like, really? I'm busy fighting the federal government in court. I
The
tell you
only,
what,
the only thing I can say for Trump, though, is an opportunity to really focus on your platform and your policies and show people that you're more than just calling your opponents to sanctimonious
Right.
and fat and
but
whatever
he's
else.
not a lot more than that. He's just really good at it.
But
Yeah. We will see what happens. You got one more little break in you?
I do.
I want to talk about wind services, wind generators. Let them come out. They will dig the trenches, make the connections, lay the pipe. They'll hook up.
They'll do all the work, folks.
Well, certified plumber, certified master electrician, all the things that, I've got to pay for that. Oh, I need a permit. Oh, Wint, turnkey. Wint will do it. Generac,
and they can do it.
Cummins, Kohler, they've done it too.
Yeah.
USA Concrete Coating, let Charlie Garcia, like he's going to do for Junior Samples, you're pouring a new slab, let Charlie seal it. You're going to build a barn dominium, let Charlie put down a polyurethane flooring that won't ever show. Can you imagine in a kitchen, never shows a grease stain, you just wipe it up
Nice.
forever.
Never shows a crack.
Never. Won't be there.
Won't peel. Won't fade.
Won't stick. White Trash Services, how's that dumpster coming?
It's there. I'll post a picture of it later. Got a big roll-off. Thanks to the folks at White Trash. 361-550-1826. If you want a roll-off dumpster, ask for Ryan. Somebody answers the phone. And when you ask for Ryan, they transfer you the call, and you talk to Ryan. That's the beauty of calling White Trash Services. And then they'll schedule, how soon? I can get it there this afternoon. He told me, well, yeah, that's not going to work. I'm busy, but can't get it there. Can you bring it here? Sure, we'll get it there that day.
There you go. Chopping block. Many of you went by yesterday.
I got the pork medallions
Meatloaf.
with the pineapple glaze.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal. And the glaze, it wasn't like they just scooped the ladle of it on top, right? It was kind of baked in, cooked in, and it was just the right amount of sweetness on that. Oh, it was so good.
It's gourmet food. And they're open again today. Meatloaf sandwich. If you don't
Stop
feel like
on
having
by.
the sides, but they've got cheesy potatoes, they got mac and cheese, they got green beans. Get by there.
It was so good. Now I'm hungry.
Amazing spot.
So, imagine the nerve of some Aussie coming over here, wanting to throw some shrimp on the barbie,
This lady's stupid.
and decides that while she's here, she's going to get irritated by all. Imagine coming to the United States of America and getting irritated by seeing nothing but American flags.
She said America needs to be more humble. She goes, I've lived in Australia all my life. I rarely see the Australian flag.
Well, that's your problem.
And she said, Americans are always waving their flag in your face. And she said, I just think Americans need to be more humble. Tell them what our governor, Greg Abbott, good on him. What did Greg Abbott tell her?
Go back to Australia.
There you go.
Go back where you came from.
Pack your rucksack and get the ruck out.
And
Get out of here.
And I don't have any doubt that the media was hoping that Abbott would face backlash for this,
Yeah, everybody's doing what
and
we're
I haven't.
doing.
And I haven't seen it. Haven't seen it.
Good stuff.
Yeah. How about this? TV usage in this country down to a new low. Hit below 50% for the first time ever. Just below. But streaming accounting for almost 40% of total usage
Does
in
it
this
mean
country
people
now.
aren't watching as much
That's
TV?
that's
Are
what
they
they're-
outside getting fit
Well, no, what it means is they're still watching stuff.
in an ice bath
They're just not watching it on
cable
TV or cable. Yeah, broadcast or cable. They're watching it on a streaming service.
services?
Yeah.
You know,
Which
if you think
bring-
about it, where
Well-
do you go? Where does the money come from? Because here's the deal. For free, you can be on a certain network. YouTube. For $9.99, you can do it without commercials. How many people are saying, here, I'll just pay my $9.99, leave me alone? Where does Bud Light advertise?
Is it worth sports? Sports still draws people in.
Yes.
I mean, you know, the highest rated shows of all time outside of maybe MASH and Cheers finale and Friends finale.
Super Bowls, World
Sporting
Series
events.
games.
But it does
March
bring me to a
Madness.
point, though, that ESPN is letting people go left and right. They've been Disney's cash cow for years. And they're going to pony up $1 billion a year for the new Big Ten network TV deal, media rights deal. How in the heck is this sustainable for ESPN and college football? Something's got to give. And at some point, these networks are not going to be able to keep paying college football the money they want.
No, it's very interesting. You see these record-breaking deals like Shohei Ohtani's going to get $600 million. I had a really in-depth conversation with a huge fan the other day who said she thinks that Kyle Tucker's number is going to be 7 years, $250. Because I was going, it's going to be 10 years, $350 million. And just very matter-of-factly, she goes, no, they won't go 10, but they might go 7 at about $250. That's a $35 million and change kind of number.
Well, how old's Tucker? 25?
26, I think.
So he'll want to be gone at 33, 34, and then he'll make
One
a
more
brave type
contract.
money for big money for a short term. Yep.
Just got this in from Michael Cloud's office. Says the Veterans Roundtable with Congressman Michael Cloud. Make a note of this, whether you're a veteran or just support veterans. Friday, August 25th. So not this Friday, but next Friday, Brother Gary. 10 to 11 a.m. Location is the UHV Northwest Campus, which is your place, right, Ash?
Yes.
So right here at Airline and Laurent, it's not fair to say the old mall. What the Catholic Church and what UHV have done to that property is phenomenal.
It's the UHV Northwest Campus.
There it is.
It's UHV on the side of the building. You'll notice it.
1604 East Airline Road. So from 10 to 11, Michael Cloud meeting in person for a veterans roundtable. Come in. That's not this Friday, but next Friday. We'll try to promote it between now and then. It's a good thing. We were thrilled to have the congressman on yesterday. Such a enjoyable. I say it often, but it's worth repeating. Whether it's Sheriff Marr, Sheriff Louderback, Ben Zeller, Jeff Balknight, Jesus Garza, Jeannie Morrison on a mobile, whatever. We're very, very fortunate to have access to the people we have access to. And by the way, it's the only place that you ever hear them talk live. Live, unfiltered, unprompted, no script, not a speech.
Probably wish they had a script sometime.
You don't hear it anywhere else in this community. So hats off to them for being willing to come on and take the chance. Folks, we're going to have to get out of here.
Yep. Time to go.
That show about nothing turned into something. We're like Seinfeld with substance.
And subjects.
Hope you guys have a great day. We love you.
Bye, folks.
Manana.
Every bar around. I've been locked up for driving.